And that's why to this day, Keith Richards won't use a French tick.
Kind of makes sense.
Hi, I'm here with Dysfunctional Dream, the first interview for Guerilla Humour. Right now I will give the band an opportunity to introduce themselves, so I will pass the mic around.
Carr, bass.
Matthew Sypher, vocals.
Shawn Cormier, guitar.
Shawn Murrayford, drums.
So I was just wondering, what is the origin of the name Dysfunctional Dream?
Well, I've been at this for a little while now, probably well over a decade. And one of the original singers I was working with, we were sitting in one of our old rehearsal spots, and we were just talking about just how dysfunctional trying to be in a band was, you know, just everybody in their idiosyncrasies, you know, or you get a lot of mix of crazy people, passionate people, aggressive people, and everything else in between, and just thought, you know, what a dysfunctional dream this would be to, you know, try and be able to play music. And, you know, here I am, you know, over a decade later, and I've been with these guys for a very long time, Chris on here and Shawn, and Matt, you know, within the last year, and you know, it's becoming a little less dysfunctional, but it's just, it really is a dysfunctional dream to think to play music full time or to even have that, you know, that opportunity. It just, we all have day jobs, you know, and, you know, hopefully it'll become a dream come true.
So what are your major influences?
Some of my influences, Metallica, Alice in Chains, stuff like that. Is probably what I listen to a little bit.
So I have a lot of influences. I draw from a bunch of different places. Marilyn Manson, Slipknot are some higher up ones, but then David Bowie is another one, and then Whitechapel, Suicide Silence, all kinds of things really. And then I go to things that are non-music related, like Lord of the Rings, philosophy, whatever. You know, it's all over the place, not just music.
I'd have to say for myself, it's a really broad range of music, from, you know, classic rock, old blues, metal. I like death metal. I like everything in its place. Like, I mean, Meshuggah, a really heavy band. I like it in moderation. You know, Slipknot. You know, it's not. I'm not the sort of guy where I will listen to a whole album from start to finish. It's rare that I'll do that. I like to sort of pick different music for the different types of mood. And having 2 kids now, I mean, sometimes you have other people, like Katy Perry comes into the mix, and so I try and pick some songs that, you know, I can tolerate, you know, and put up that are played 100 times over and over and over again. But yeah, it's definitely all over the map for me.
So for me, I'd probably have to say a lot of Metallica, early Megadeth, and listen to a lot of classic rock, a lot of Beatles, a lot of Floyd, some Chuck Berry, but really one of my bigger influences is definitely Dream Theater in terms of progressive metal. Listen to a lot of classical and a little bit of jazz here and there as well too.
So how did all you guys meet?
I've been playing with Chris the longest. We met quite some time ago. I was playing in a different band, and he had answered an ad. We were looking for a bass player. It was tough to find a bass player at the time, and really lucky to meet the guy. And that band basically ran its course. And when I started getting serious again playing, I called him out, and he came out with some friends and started playing. And kind of became the birth of this band. In the progress, like, he had known Shawn and played with him in the past for quite some time, and you know, having a skilled drummer and having somebody who's a good friend with somebody you know is going to mix with the group. So Shawn came in pretty early on as well, probably a couple of years after I started playing with Chris. And then we've gone through several singers, and just for all the all kinds of reasons, you know, from, you know, having to move away for, you know, educational reasons to in sickness or whatever. And so it was funny, Matt, he had an ad out, and his video was basically him doing Screamo. And Screamo definitely wasn't something that was going to be, like, you know, this is our music to do Screamo, but the way I saw vocals was kind of like an instrument, like a guitar. Like the way I see my lead playing is, I can play the standard stuff, and you have different tricks in your band that you kind of pull out. You know, I can pull this effect or this style or this technique. And I saw Screamo as just one thing that needed to be part of our music, but not, you know, as a dominant part, but just to be one trick. And I figured if he had that, it's not easy to do that. And if he had that part, I thought, you know, what could you do beyond that? And so we had him out, and he you know, impressed us every single rehearsal thereafter. And, you know, we really pushed him to come out of his comfort zone and start to sing and push his own voice to become more musical in the way he was singing. Instead of just pushing all this angst and anger, he was able to kind of hold that back a bit and get the message across with, you know, something that, you know, would grab more people rather than just being in your face shock all the time. So, and, you know, from there, I don't know if Matt, you have something else?
Yeah, just what Shawn was saying. I came out expecting and looking for a band, like I mentioned earlier, Whitechapel, more along the lines of really heavy and like all the time, right? So I was more of a bedroom singer kind of thing. I kept clean singing to myself, really. So I wasn't expecting to do that, and they brought that side out, and now I'm able to express more vocally in all kinds of different ways, more emotions than just the anger there. So that's definitely been very helpful and very interesting. I didn't expect to be doing that, so that was really cool. I'm very happy to have found that.
All right, Shawn, why are you Smurf?
Yeah, so my name again is Shawn Murray Ford, and for my day job, I know I probably don't look it, but I do network security, so I spend a lot of time behind a desk or, you know, behind my laptop. And a lot of companies, when they set up like your email and your login for the network, they use the first letter of your first name and then most of your last name. So one job that I worked at, my login and my email was S Murray F. And then if you kind of run it all together with the first three letters of Murray, which is the first part of my last name, you get S-M-U-R-F. And so people just shorten it to Smurf, and that's where that came from. So nothing too crazy, but a unique story of its own.
I thought it was your blue balls, but, you know.
Now, I don't want to start a fight here, but who's the Mick Jagger or the Corey Taylor or the Axl Rose of the band?
All right, so who's the front man? Well, he's definitely our front man. He's the guy who's singing the lyrics. He's the one there stepping in front. He's the one who has to, you know, really work it. He doesn't have an instrument to hide behind. There's a lot of times where he isn't singing, you know, he has to captivate the audience, you know, and ultimately, no matter who writes what within the band, he's the one who's actually saying it to the people. I mean, we try and, you know, have open input within the band. I write a fair amount of the music, but just because I've got a lot and I'm trying to get out, and, you know, starting points and whatnot, but everybody seems to kind of come in and create their own parts and make things so much better. But he's ultimately the guy who's given the message out on stage, and I believe there's a lot in lyrics. You know, it's not just a matter of things that sound good, you know, it's also a matter about what you're saying, and whoever's saying that's got a big impact on people.
Yeah, so I guess as the front man, I should probably comment here. Yeah, as he said, I don't have an instrument. It's just me and my voice and my dancing and all that. And as it was mentioned earlier, I joined the band later than everyone else, so there were a lot of pre-existing songs, so I haven't had much of an opportunity to put my own lyrics into it, though I have so far. Not a lot, but I have. So I've had to go back and look at the old lyrics that they've already had and sort of establish a connection to them, and I definitely feel that I can relate to them, so it definitely helps there, and I try to bring all that I can to what's already there and what we create in the future, in that I have so much to express, and I'm trying to express it in all the lyrics I write, and in my persona on stage and off stage and with the makeup and all that, so I am the front man.
So where can future fans find some of your music?
We're actually going in the studio on May 3rd to lay down a couple tracks at Pebble Studios, and once we get those down, we're going to go through, do production and mastering on those. So hopefully sometime soon we're going to have some excellent polished tracks for people to go to. We do have a Facebook page up and running at facebook.com/Dysfunctional Dream. We put all of our show information on there, and if people want to, tag along and keep an eye on the band, that'd be great.
All right, so thanks for coming out to do this, and I wish you guys only the best in the future.
Excellent, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So this concludes this Dysfunctional interview. Make sure to check him out on Facebook, and thank you for watching.
Have you ever seen Matt move a mic?
This song's for you.
Just another vocal style.
Yeah, it's called Chokes on Dick.
Okay, just get the fucking mic, okay?
I feel safe with something long and firm in my hands. With a round
My lad.
Wait, you wanna say that again?
I don't need to say it, they know it. They're thinking it, they're typing it, they're trolling it, whatever.
Do you really have an answer for that? Because
For Smurf? Yeah.
You have an answer for that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right.
It's a strange sexual thing.
Yeah.
Watch.
Alright, Matt, we're going to need you to demonstrate again.
Nice.
Sorry. Take 78. Are we good over there? Yeah, you're taping all this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be the maple reel.
Definitely gonna be the extra.
The mat reel.